Hello, everyone. Welcome back to yet another political episode. So, we just had a joint session of Congress last night. It went extremely well for the president, not that very well for the Democrats. We're going to talk about that later today. But we have to touch base and talk about it's a new month, so we do the House elections for 2026, the Senate election for 2026, and the gubernatorial election for 2026. We do our little prediction election night from there. So obviously, this is election night 2026. 2026 is shaping up to be a compatible year. Democrats are looking to win the House after Republicans won the House unexpectedly due to Donald Trump's cocktail effect. Republicans will indefinitely win the Senate in 2026. That is not up for contention. What's really up for contention is the House and these gubernatorial seats. There is no such thing as a majority in these said gubernatorial races, but what there is basically influence and winning these states where you can make an influence, like Pennsylvania, Michigan. Now, Pennsylvania, I doubt is going to be in any competition. Josh Shapiro is well liked there, but maybe Michigan and Wisconsin, those states, especially Arizona, keeping Georgia, those states. And if the Republicans can keep those states, flip and gain seats instead of losing seats, it's going to be a good night for them in the gubernatorial races, and I expect it to be. So, without further moment ado, let's begin. So, we're starting off with the hour being 6 p.m. We are ready to make a projection in a few said states. 6 p.m. Indiana, Kentucky, they don't have gubernatorial races, so those polls don't close. So really, the polls close for gubernatorial races at 7 p.m. That includes Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, Vermont, and that's it. I was looking for Virginia, but Virginia does not have their race on 2026. But we can easily make a projection that Vermont will keep Phil Scott. He is on a roll. He's getting more popular than unpopular. That's because he's resonating with more liberals. Scott backed Kamala Harris in the 2024 presidential election. I am sure that voters are going to award him, progressive voters, if you will reward him for that in the 2026 gubernatorial races. We look at South Carolina. Well, actually, this is a hold. So, South Carolina, the Republican there, whoever that may be, will win. Georgia, it is too close to call. Byron Donalds will become the next governor of Florida. And here is our map right now. We have Republicans 3, Democrats 0, and obviously the map will fill out when it continues. 7:30 p.m. Ohio closes its polls. It is too close to call. Vivek Ramaswamy is the presumptive nominee. That is too close to call. We cannot call it yet, but he looks like he will win that race. In Alabama, we are ready to make a projection that the Republican there, I doubt it's going to be Kay Ivey. She is very old, and I think she's term limited. She is term limited. She cannot. This is going to be a new gubernatorial race, whoever that may be. Tennessee, going for the Republican there. We're looking at. Let's see. We're going to look at, Maine. Maine is the first win for the Democrats. Governor Haley from Massachusetts will win. Governor McKee from Rhode Island will win. In Connecticut, the Democrat there, whoever that may be, will win. Governor Wes Moore of Maryland is the winner. And this is our map so far. 5-5. Pennsylvania is too close to call. Illinois, believe it or not, too close to call. Looking at Oklahoma, that is the next state we're projecting. It is a Republican win. Kansas is too close to call. Texas, too close to call. All right, this is our map. No flips, no gains, whatever you want to call it. Oh, yes, we should project New Hampshire. I forgot to. Kelly Ayotte. It's hard to pronounce. Kelly Ayotte will win easily. That should have been added with the cluster in New England. But yes, she will be reelected pretty easily. She wins, and I'd be pretty shocked if she didn't. But she's extremely popular in New Hampshire. It's now 8:30 p.m. We are ready to project that Sarah Huckabee Sanders will be reelected. We are ready to project that whoever it may be, I don't think it's going to be the incumbent governor of Illinois. It could be Brandon Johnson. If it is, that's going to be a huge win for Republicans. But whoever that Democrat may be, I'm guessing it will be like the Secretary of State, Attorney General, something like that. That Democrat will prevail, allegedly. I do expect the Republicans to gain more, though, percentage-wise. A more rightward shift compared to, like, maybe it would be great to see a 10-point shift, but we believe the Democrat will win in Illinois. Ohio is still too close to call. We are ready to make a projection on our 9 p.m. states. New York is too close to call. That is supposedly going to be a battleground. I do not call it a battleground because we know New York City is going to prevent it from being a battleground. But, there's such thing as low turnout, lack of momentum for Kathy Hochul, and just overperformance and upset from Republicans. The situation might even be more dire than usual in New York. So we're going to have to see. Pennsylvania. We're making a projection. Josh Shapiro will win re-election. That was not considered to be a compatible state. Josh Shapiro, very popular. In the state of Minnesota, it's too close to call. In Texas, we believe the Republican there, maybe it will be Greg Abbott. I am not so sure, but the Republican there will win. In Colorado, Jared Polis, I want to believe, is term limited. I do not know. There's a lot of governors that are term limited. I wish I had my map with me, but we believe, regardless of who that nominee will be, the Democrat will win in Colorado fairly easily. Let's see. We're looking at New Mexico as too close to call. Nebraska. The Republican will win there. Yes, I forgot. He's like Coach Pillen. I think that's his name. He will win. He will win there. Iowa, too close to call. South Dakota. The now lieutenant governor, now governor, the former lieutenant governor, now governor, will seek and win a full term. Wyoming, no surprise. Republicans will win. And Arizona, too close to call. All right, this is our map of results as we speak. We are ready to make a couple projections before the 10 o'clock hour. We are projecting the state of Minnesota. Peggy Flanagan will become the first Native American governor in Minnesotan history. Along with the Republicans will win their first game. Kansas. Governor Kelly did a good job keeping that state blue for 8 years. She is term limited. She cannot run for re-election. It is alleged that her lieutenant governor is running for re-election. We are not sure that his lieutenant governor is as popular, but a lot of organizations and outlets have categorized this race as a most likely Republican gain. It is a red state, although libertarian. We feel Republicans have a good opportunity to win that. So that is, of course, a gain for the Republican Party. We can also project that Vivek Ramaswamy will become the next governor of Ohio. And down in Georgia, I want to believe it's the Attorney General that's running in Georgia. He's already announced his campaign, but he will win. We have projected that he will win in that state, keeping Georgia Republican. Believe it or not, Georgia has never had a Democrat governor this century so far. So we are feeling pretty confident and comfortable. Despite Georgia becoming more tight, we feel comfortable that with the current establishment in the Republican Party of Georgia pretty strong and popular, we feel that they will win there. All right. It is, of course, 10 p.m. We are ready to make some projections. Idaho and Nevada. That was quick. We project that Governor Lombardo, Joe Lombardo, he will carry every county in Nevada. He is that popular, and we feel that, yeah, he's going to win. I believe Democrats want the Attorney General to run. Even the Attorney General isn't beating the polling. And hopefully someday Lombardo will seek a Senate seat, and that will give Republicans that seat. And unless something really goes downhill, and I hope it doesn't, but we can say Nevada is safe Republican. And in Iowa, we are saying that is going to be a Republican win at the end of the day. Whoever that may be, I add that seat. We took a while because there's a possibility that the very popular state auditor, Rob Sand, could, and that in really extreme cases, win. Who is a Democrat. Obviously, Rob Sand, he does resonate with a lot of Iowans, but hey, I guess you got to find another popular Republican to counter him, and that's only if he announces his campaign. I know he wanted to run in 2022. He didn't because, he decided there was no way he was going to beat Kim Reynolds. So he said, I might as well run for the second term and win my seat, which he did. He did keep his seat, which is one of the one out of two victories that Democrats won in Iowa in 2022. I'm not so sure. But we can project that Kathy Hochul will win a second term. As much as we hate it, we recognize that the New York City Metro, it's going to get her over, despite the low turnout. We also feel it used to be that Queens was very competitive. Queens is 60% Democrat now, and that's all they're going to. So we are feeling comfortable to call Kathy Hochul the winner, but by a much smaller margin compared to 2022, which I would say is a very good political victory for Republicans within. In New Mexico, I believe it's a new governor, but I would say, yeah, you could say make an argument that New Mexico is compatible. The current governor cannot run, Michelle Lujan Grisham, and the Inside Elections outlet has labeled this state a battleground. But as of right now, we feel comfortable saying, okay, Republicans are nowhere near yet to win unless they get Judith Nkrumah, the former Chief Justice of the New Mexico Supreme Court, as the nominee. She has publicly expressed. Nella Dominici is a potential candidate again. We are not so sure, but we feel as of right now, New Mexico stays blue. Arizona, we feel that state still too close to call. It's now 11 p.m. We are ready to make those projections in California and Oregon. California and Oregon, no surprise. We are not, could be Kamala Harris in California. We are not so sure. We know Governor Kotek of Oregon, she is running for re-election. She will win. This will be no real competition. Now, we just have a little bit before we call Arizona labeled a toss-up, but I would say in the long run that it's too close to call. This will be probably the last state for us to project, but what we can project is a win for Republicans in Wisconsin. Republicans will win in Wisconsin. Tony Evers, he's publicly expressed a third run, just like Tim Walz. He may not get away with that. I have to clarify, my bad. Peggy Flanagan is not running for governor. I was thinking Senate. I keep getting them mixed up. In our hypothetical, Tim Walz, he will win re-election. Tim Walz has not declared his run. He is likely to. Tony Evers, I'm just saying, Tim Walz has a better chance of getting through than Tony Evers. Tony Evers, they got rid of Scott Walker when he tried to run for 33 times. I mean, in a recall, they're like, oh, we're done with you. You serve 8 years. You're done. So I don't think Tony Evers, who is actually underwater in approval rating after he insisted that he is going to get rid of the terms of mother and father from birth certificates, replacing it with a non-binary term to further appease the demands of the very woke, extreme, woke, the social justice warriors, or the LGBT. So obviously, this is what is playing out right now. So we're looking at Michigan still. It is too close to call. We do think that Democrat there will help get the said Republican. I think it could be, let me look that up. It could be the former nominee. You already have Anthony Hudson and Eric Nesbitt running. No real polls yet in that said state. Arizona is not ready yet. But what we are doing now is we're saying, okay, that's too close to call. Alaska and Hawaii, 12 o'clock p.m. We can project those states. They are in favors. They are going in. All right. We are ready to make a projection in the two states. And that being that Jocelyn Benson will win in Michigan. And Katie Hobbs will lose in Arizona. Andy Biggs will become the next governor. So, of course, this is our map. Republicans +3. This is very good for the Republican Party, seeing that they are the ruling party. In midterm elections, the ruling party, the party in power, does really bad. But right now, the society has become so polarized. President Trump is obviously his approval rating stable despite a struggling economy. And most Americans, in last night's address, supported President Trump, according to two polls. CBS, 73% approved of the poll, and CNN with different and multiple results. The top result gave Trump the edge of 44%, the highest, compared to the lowest of 31% that did slightly approve. And actually, no, that disapproved, my bad. And 25% that slightly approved. So I got them mixed up. But yes, things can change in 2 years. A lot can change. Take a look at what happened to Joe Biden. This is technically Donald Trump's honeymoon period. This is very normal for the president that comes into power. Eventually, when the year progresses, they'll start to dial down. They're going to start to be more critical. But if it doesn't, then hey, I would be a little worried by January 2026 if that doesn't happen. I would, if I were a Democrat, because that not because that's the midterm year, because that's usually when the honeymoon ends, and when that honeymoon period ends, that's mostly because if it ends, most Americans are probably liking Donald Trump despite that honeymoon period ending. But anyway, what do you guys think? Let me know down below. And as always, I'll see you all in the next political episode.